Hello and welcome to Seismic Cinema. I'm Colin. I've usually not seen it. James has usually written an essay on it, although he's not here tonight. And Paul,
Yeah, I've usually watched it in the wrong order.
you sure have. So this is a bit of a kind of Seismic Cinema special episode. We've got some issues with scheduling this week, so Paul had the great idea of getting back into doing some maybe ranking episode, which we've not done in a long while. So, Paul, you want to introduce what we're ranking since it was your idea?
Yeah, I thought we'd kind of go back to our roots. We've not done a wee ranking episode in a while. So we're going to do Andor season 1 character rankings, just because season 2 is just around the corner. And Colin, I think you've been you're telling me pretty sure you've been watching it, just kind of catching up on it. I've not seen it since it came out right enough, so I might be a wee bit rusty. But Andor for me, really enjoyed it as a TV series. Probably one of my most favorite Star Wars kind of properties. So yeah, really looking forward to doing this wee character ranking with you.
Cool. And before we get into that, just a wee reminder where people can find us. So you can find us. We're very active on X. We're kind of active on other things like Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Well, not really, but we post things on there every so often. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a range of other platforms. Subscribers are stagnating a wee bit, so want to get that boosting up again. So if you're checking out this episode, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, maybe even give us a wee like as well if you feel we've earned it. And finally, just to give our buddies a wee shout out, we'll get the Podpack Collective and a range of different podcasts, good friends, good people, and you should check them out as well. Right, just in terms of recent episodes, our most recent one, Paul's done 2 in a row for the first time in a long time. It was Seismic Soccer episode 9, which Gary was also on as well. So if you haven't checked that out yet, then make sure you give that a watch. The last movie review we did was Alien, which was me and James, and then before that it was Rocky 4. So obviously you were saying that I've just been watching Andor, yeah, and I did just rewatch the series, and we'll get into our kind of thoughts on Andor as a show shortly. But Paul, did you not watch that? I sent you this. It was the Star Wars Explained YouTube channel, which is a great Star Wars YouTube channel. It was literally just season 1 in 1 minute. So 1 minute of your time would have caught you right up.
I watched the first 10 seconds of it, but I was at work, so I couldn't really watch the whole thing. That's my excuse. I'm sticking with it.
I would recommend them. Worth checking out. So what have you been checking out, Paul? Any movies or shows on your horizon recently?
Not really been watching much. I watched The Devil May Cry animated series on Netflix that came out. It's based on the video game. I think I played one of the video games years ago, but I didn't really know the story of it at all. I just turned it on and watched it because I heard like the music and that was good in it, and it was actually pretty decent. It's not something I would usually watch, but I think the music was good. Action seemed pretty good. The character seemed good, but I'm not one of these people that I'm totally oblivious. Like people that probably love Devil May Cry might hate it. I don't really know, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Jordan's been getting on my case to watch that, although I've never engaged with the games early either.
Yeah, but it's okay for something to watch. They're quite short episodes, so it's got quite a good kind of voice cast, like Invincible. Was quite a few good famous characters, so yeah, it's worth it. It's worth a watch if you know Bayonetta, if you know what I mean. That's been watching The Bondsman on Prime by Kevin Bacon, which is okay as well. It's a bit of a kind of dark comedy / supernatural thing. It's okay. It's not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a bit more like serious horror kind of wise, but
right.
I saying it's short episodes as well. Nothing really to shout home about. What about you? You been watching it?
So I finished From, which we spoke about last time I saw you. So I finished season 3 of that. So quite a big wait now, I think, until season 4 comes out.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
I watched.
hopefully they answer some questions.
Yeah, well, they did. I feel they did answer quite a few questions, but then obviously created extra ones as well. I watched the first couple of episodes of Severance, but I've not went back to it yet. But I do plan to go back to it. Just haven't had a chance yet. I watched because I hadn't watched the last couple of episodes of Black Mirror season 6, so I watched the one that was awful, the one I messaged you about, the one with the paparazzi, the werewolf, and that.
Yeah, Daisy May or something like that,
And
or
then
Maisie Day.
I was going to watch the last one of season 6, but it was like an hour and 20 minutes long. And I was like, do I really want to invest that much time in this?
Yeah, what
So
one's
I
that again?
haven't. It's like the last one. Like if you're looking at them in order, it's the last one
Yeah,
on season 6. I will need to get up to date because
yeah,
also there's the new season out as well.
yeah.
I'm
I
kind of
watched the whole
dipping.
new season. Oh, I watched the whole new season actually. I forgot about
Mhm.
that as well.
Is it any good?
I don't really want to spoil it for you, but I was a bit
So kind of lost
disappointed
track
by it.
after. I feel like the last 3 seasons have been a bit not as good as like the first 5.
Yeah, like there's an episode that's bleak. There's a USS Callister one which is pretty decent.
Sequel, yeah.
Um, there's one I've not seen it. You know that is it that Bandersnatch one?
The interactive one.
Yeah, so I think there's one that ties into that, but I've not seen the Bandersnatch
Uh,
one. And then the other couple of ones were like they were okay, but I don't know. They weren't really my thing. They weren't the ones that I enjoyed. They weren't the ones with big
mhm.
twists in it in them. So
Yeah,
to be honest, I was a bit disappointed in it, but it might
yeah.
be okay for you.
I might check it. I'm not going to rush to check it out, but I'll check it out at some point. I tend to just watch. There's things I watch when I'm really focused, and there's things I watch just while I'm doing things. So I've been rewatching Ted Lasso season 1 as well, because I've got Apple TV again.
Yeah, good. I've not seen
Right.
that. I've seen season 1, but I've not seen season 2 yet. So sadly,
Oh, yeah. You should definitely check it out. Um, just before we get into starting the character ranking, just a wee, we've actually got quite a big history with Andor on Seismic Cinema. We did a kind of Rogue One retrospective back in the day, which was also like an Andor preview, and I listened to quite a bit of it recently. We also reviewed like the first kind of like 3 or 4 episodes, and then we abandoned it, and we did a season review with Moisture Farm Report.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh God, I remember one of those Andor episodes. I think you were having a
Mm.
nightmare that day with your Wi-Fi. I had to edit
I
it.
was doing it. I was doing it at Alien's old house. Yeah, and I remember it. I actually remember it quite vividly. Um, so obviously, the reason for doing that was just to kind of introduce Andor, but it was also an opportunity to talk about Rogue One, which, if I'm right in saying, is your favorite Star Wars film, or
Correct.
one of your favorites? Favorite?
The favorite. The favorite.
Yeah. So obviously know that, and obviously know you like Andor quite well. But I just wonder, have you rewatched Andor at all since the first run, or?
Not really. No. The only time, see if I've got like a wee bit of time to kill, like before like watching the football on TV or something like that.
Mhm.
I'll sometimes stick on the last episode, just because like gets you hyped, like the marching band and that, and then the big riot at the end, the Marvel speech and stuff. I'm just like, yeah,
Do you
it's
not? Do you not think it's got? Do you not think it's rewatch? Like, do you think it's got rewatchability, or is it just you just haven't happened to have went back and watched it? Like, is it something you would like
I
to go
think
back and watch?
I probably would do, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think the only thing is like like it goes in like 3 episode arcs. So sometimes the first couple episodes you can kind of like, do I really need to watch that again? And I just watch the spectacle of the third
Mhm.
episode in the arc. But yeah, like to be honest, I just enjoyed it the first time round. I don't really go around. I don't really rewatch TV series as such once I've seen it. unless it's been like a really, really good episode, which is probably why I go back to episode 9 all the time, or 12, was it? 9?
Yeah.
9? 12?
Which one? 12. If you're talking about the last
12.
episode, it's 12, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember any episodes in the season. So episode 12, like, let's go back to that all the time.
Because it's Star Wars Celebration this week and also May the Force and the Horizon, I'm actually thinking of doing a wee binge through the live action movies and the kind of live action shows, because I had a wee notion, although I wasn't massively impressed with Ahsoka overall, I quite fancied watching the kind of Clone Wars, the Anakin episodes.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
Because Hayden Christensen was at Star Wars Celebration again.
Mindful in the Star Wars celebrations, I ended up staying at your house and we tried to do like a Star Wars marathon to watch all the movies. You just couldn't do
it pretty well. And then we went to play football and you burst your knee or something, your ankle.
My knee, aye. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, I remember it well. Right. So obviously you haven't rewatched it. I must admit, I think I enjoyed it the first time I watched it, but I still felt like the likes of The Mandalorian were a preference for me. But I do think The Mandalorian third season was a bit of a mess. So I think I would be agreeing with you that this is the best of the live action Star Wars shows.
Yeah, it's quite funny to it. Like, see when it first came, like, see when this first got announced, were you like, oh, pure buzzing for it, or were you just like,
I think we both really liked Rogue One, so I think spending a bit more time with that kind of style of action, etc., was always going to be, because this isn't really like, you wouldn't really think of this as one I would jump at. Do you know what I mean? It's maybe not like my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Off the bat, but I really enjoyed it the second time around. I feel like you can just pay more attention to like the small, like the conversations and the small details when you watch it the second time.
Yeah, catching all the plans and catching all the kind of what everyone's up to. No, I get it.
I also thought at the end we could do some honourable mentions, because there was 2 or 3 characters that were kind of just outside my top 10.
See, I stuck to the brief and just mentioned 10. I'll need to Google some more then.
No, I mean, I just wrote down a short list of names and then ranked it from there. So, well, it's been a while since we've done this, but we'll go from 10 all the way down to 1. And since I've taken on the hosting role, Paul, I'm actually really interested to. I'm first of all interested to see who's made your top 10 in general, and then more interested to see how you order them. It's interesting to see whether you've went down a kind of similar thought process as me, and there might be characters that you like that I didn't like as much. So, do you want to get us started with your number 10 then?
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I did rattle through my list, but I had to rewrite it like 4 times because I kept like doing one and like, oh, I forgot about them. Oh, I forgot about them. Oh, I forgot about them. But starting off, I've got the big man, Brasso. I've kind of ordered it like characters I enjoyed, but also that I want to see more of. Kind of way. I want to be interested more in their stories.
It reminds me of you a bit.
But big and strong and knowledgeable.
Good friend.
Beard. Beard. Smacks people with bricks.
Works outdoors.
Yeah. So yeah, like he was a good friend to. He is a good friend to Andor. He's always looking out for Marva. And when B2MO gets kicked over by the Imperials in the last episode, he just goes absolutely mental, shows he can handle himself. And yeah, he's like kind of a big gentle giant for like the whole series until the very last episode. And you kind of see the rage come out when he's kind of hyped up by Marva's speech. So yeah, I want to see more of what his character's got to offer, and I'm hoping to see a lot more of him in season 2 if he's in it. Like I said, I've not watched any trailers or anything for season 2 because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. So yeah, kind of going into it blind. But yeah, I hope Brasso makes it and has some input in season 2.
I'm the opposite to you. I like to consume as many, not spoilers, but I do like to watch the trailers and find out about the casting news and things like that. So I'm going to respect that. And do you think you'll have a big part to play in season 2?
I hope so, because like Escaped with like Bix and stuff like that, and they're like Cassian's friends. So I'd expect them to make they were pretty big in the season 1, so I'd expect them to make an appearance in episode 2 in some aspect.
What I found interesting when I was making up my rankings is there's so many characters, isn't there, both kind of big and small parts, and I think it does a pretty good job of giving everyone, even the minor characters, enough screen time so that you care about them. There was that one guy that died. I think he was the guy who, I can't remember what his job was. He was like kind of communications guy, like a wee office, but he died in the final battle.
Oh yeah, he jumped on the stormtrooper's back and got shot.
So, but
I know what you're talking about.
And the camera focused enough on these guys so that you knew they were dead, but you still cared a wee bit. Maybe not like massively, but you still cared a wee bit, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right, so my number 10, I had to actually Google what the correct, because they don't actually have an official name, but it came up as the time, is it Grapper? Anyway, the guy that hammers all the time and makes all the noises up in the tower.
Yeah. Is that what his name is?
So
what's it called?
The time. I can't read my writing as usual. The time grapper, but it's the guy who's
banging away in the anvil basically and just calling out time.
You said it better than me, right? So that it might seem like a bit of a weird inclusion, but I think it serves kind of thematically for like the kind of tone of the show, and I felt like he played a huge part in the final battle by kind of creating the atmosphere and creating the tension. And what sealed it for me was that bit where he put the trooper off the tower as well.
Yeah, it always got me, but like they sent a stormtrooper to get him. Why didn't they just show up at the tower?
Yeah.
Anyway, plot hole. But yes, it was an epic moment.
It might seem a bit of a silly inclusion, but do you agree or disagree that he plays quite a big part in like the show's kind of tension and like the atmosphere of the area?
Yeah, I 100% agree. And you know what? It's an out of the box pick, and I wholeheartedly approve because you know what? It's pretty good.
Well,
and like you're saying, like this series highlights a lot of wee characters for like you could have just not been in this at all, like, and it wouldn't have mattered, but they made a kind of wee deal out of it, and like you're saying, he's cool.
I think when I think of Andor as a show, though, he is someone that comes to mind quite quickly.
Aye, Tim the time grapper.
So that was my number 10, and yeah. So what's your number 9?
My number 9 is the one with the epic speeches, or the one epic speech, post-mortem. It is Marva. I went for her just because she's always given Cassian good advice. And then that speech at the end was just killer. Like, it just gets you hyped up so much, and it's just so epic. Like, the whole mood changes. Everyone's just watching her and hanging on every word. And that's the thing about the show, man. It's just got so many good like speeches and monologues. It's hard to pick from a lot. You could even done that like Andor monologue ranking.
Do you know it's an underrated one? It's not from Andor, it's from Rogue One. I really like. Actually, there's two. I really like Cassian's speech. You know the one when he talks about how he's been in this fight since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I really like Jyn Erso's speech at the kind of rebel meeting.
Was that one about like taking chances or something?
Yeah. Oh, she's like, it's like, what hope do we have? It's like, we have a choice. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's when she convinces like the rest of the rebels to kind of take part. After just even speaking about that, I really want to watch Rogue One again. So
Yes, do it.
although I was thinking of watching episodes 1 and 2 before we go to see Revenge of the Sith on Monday.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
just to build into it,
aye. We still do that.
Although
But
obviously I know what's happening anyway, but still it'd be a nice build up.
yeah.
Sorry, I went on a big tangent there, but basically, yeah, I like those two speeches from Rogue One as well.
Yes, very good. What's your number
Uh,
9?
Just sorry on Marva. It's my obvious Harry Potter reference there at Petunia. Fiona Shaw's a great actress, though, isn't she?
Yeah, she's good in, what was it, Killing Eve she's in as well?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I watched most of that. Gave up on it at one point, but I watched a fair bit of it. And Villanelle is Ray's mum.
That's right.
In Rise of
What's her
Skywalker.
face? It's not Jodie
Jodie
Comer, is it?
Comer.
Is it Jodie Comer?
As Jodie Comer, the Scouser.
Yeah. It's funny
It's
to meet people
so
that
weird
you don't
because
expect.
that was the first show I discovered her in, and then she's also got like a Russian accent in that, and then she's just a full blown Scouser.
It's funny when you hear something you think they're one thing and they're just totally not.
I know.
Who was it? In the Creed movies,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Creed's wife, the one she's in Thor Ragnarok,
Right.
as the Valkyrie. I always thought she was British, and she was just put on a terrible American accent. In the Creed movies, turns out she's American, isn't it? Anyway, tangent.
I like the Creed movies. Right, number 9 for me. It's quite funny actually. With us being Scottish, there's quite a lot of Scottish actors in Andor, and Scottish location as well.
Yes, the Dam.
The Dam, yeah, we should take a wee road trip one day.
To the Aldani Dam.
Yeah. Anyway, my number 9 is, and it's one like you could easily forget the name. Like I didn't really remember it, but I remember the character well. Number 9 was Sergeant Linus Musk. You know, the wee guy that was with Cyril, who was just hilarious. And
I think when we did our Andor, one of the Andor thing, he used my screen name.
Right, he's just funny, isn't he? He's just full of like passion and enthusiasm, and he's good comic relief as well.
He's a good foil for Cyril. He's kind of like the opposite of Cyril, but
yeah,
works well with him. He's a good actor, right enough. He's I've seen the snippets on in Chernobyl and stuff, and he's good.
I probably won awards for that or something.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people from Chernobyl's in this, if I remember right. I've not actually seen it. I've seen like
is it not the redheaded turncoat?
He's in it, yeah. He's one of the technicians
in Chernobyl,
in the lab.
And was Luthen not in it as well?
He was in it as well, yep.
I've never actually watched it, so maybe I should watch it.
I think it's good. It's harrowing. It's annoying because it's like a big government cover up, and this guy's trying to tell them like what's happening. They're like, "Oh no, none of this happened. Don't need to worry about it." And it's frustrating.
Is that a Sky show?
Yes.
So it should be on Now TV, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, yeah. So you could probably watch the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe check it out. Yeah, I like him. He just makes me laugh. And when Cyril's doing his really pathetic speech, he's just like bamming it up. And, he survives as well because I think the last you see him, he's like lying. Because I watched it the other night. He's lying against a wall, drinking like whiskey or something.
He's hip flask.
So I like him.
Cyril just leaves him.
Yeah, my first few picks are quite kind of light-hearted, like the time grapper guy and Linus, but I get more kind of serious as I get down the line.
I was going to say I like the cut of your list. It's pretty out there.
Cool. What was your number 8
then? I was going to go for Nemec.
Okay.
From the Aldani arc. I just thought he was a really interesting character. He kind of epitomised what rebellion was all about and his manifesto and stuff. And I really thought he was going to survive way more than he did. I thought he was going to survive maybe towards the end. I don't think he was going to get taken out in the last episode. Danny.
Even the second time around, I was like not expecting him to go.
No, it was a shame. But when he's reading, and it's kind of reading out his manifesto and just what they want and what's needed to kind of overthrow the empire and what the people need is a wee bit of hope and stuff. I thought it was just a kind of epic speech again. But throughout the kind of arc, I've seen him as like this kind of wee scrawny guy, but he's a fighter and he's an idealist. And I just really enjoyed this character, just a wee bit different from the norm.
He seemed quite well respected because Andor liked him, but the guy, is it Skeen? Skeen, yeah, he respected him as well, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. He did garner a lot of respect.
I think something that Andor did quite well was they were quite ruthless, just about killing characters off. Obviously, Rogue One set the scene for that with the whole crew getting wiped out. But even though you know where the Andor crew end up, you don't really know where a lot of these characters will wind up. Cool. So my number 8 is the last of my more light-hearted picks, and I had to find a position in the ranking for the possibly the most adorable droid. Like, I'm not saying it's my favorite droid because always got a lot of love for R2D2 and BB-8 sure warmed my heart as well. Not to mention K2SO, who's not in this season, or is he? But B2MO was just a really well crafted droid character. He just a really, really loyal, but just really, he's really quite sweet as well, wasn't he? Like, I think we all kind of teared up with him when he was asking where like Marva was and where like Cassian was, and you just rooted for him, didn't you? And you wanted him to, that. I can't remember where that meme came from. It was like, "Is so and so safe? Are they well?" I can't remember. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Christ, I can't remember it now. And I see it all the time.
Safe. Yeah, where did that come from?
I can't even think. You know what? I see it all the time. So, never mind. We'll get back.
I'll come back to this.
B2MO was great.
I think sometimes when they give them like actual human voices, it can be a bit hit or miss. But I think the way they did it with him, he was just really like timid and just. Remember, he wanted Brasso to stay the night with him at Marva's house and things like that.
Yeah, because it was like in Star Wars, like all the droids are like nice, big, shiny, intricate looking things. You got R2D2, C3PO on it, and it looks like all good. And then B2M was just a wee busted thing that you could tell that they've been just kind of patched them together and stuff. And he's just like a wee vulnerable, character, like a little brother to Cassian. It's a shame, but like he has a good character in his own right, and you do feel for him. And like I was saying, him getting kicked as well sparks the riot. So
that's almost as bad as when Grogu got punched by Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso.
Wasn't it? I know, the bugger.
I think the "Is she safe" one was it not Darth Vader talking about Padme?
Oh Christ, I think it is.
Is that not where it came from?
Idiots.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans, are we?
People be screaming at us in the comment section.
No.
Yeah, he's also because I watched the last episode a couple of nights ago. See when Cassian gets onto the ship where like Brasso and that are escaping, and then B2M was like, "You're not coming with us," like just in such a sad voice. And it's like you're just like your heart's breaking.
Yeah.
He also plays a big part. He plays a big part in the plot because he's like the communication device, and like they catch pieces of valuable information through his projections, and he also projects Marva's image up into the town square. So
yeah.
Even though he's a kind of light-hearted pick, he also has like the contribution to the plot.
Yeah, I'll put it out there now just because it's like quite close together. Like I've got B2MOs at number 6.
Right.
Just because I really like this character. I've started with 7, but here's my number 6, just so we don't kind of cross over too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. He is a good character in his own right. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to get droids or people to feel it for droids or to like.
I say
care
that though.
about guys.
I think Star Wars has done well. Like R2D2 is universally beloved. I think BB-8 was pretty loved as well. Just a really unique kind of design. K2SO is one of the best. C3PO is iconic, but a bit more on the annoying side.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot. Chopper's loved as well by like the fans of Rebels and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they've
So
all got their own fans and their own
they've
rights.
done quite well. Even the one that tortures the droids in the Jabba's sail barge.
Aye.
What was your number 7 then?
My number 7 was Cyril.
Okay. Cyril Dessers.
I don't know. He's quite an interesting character. Like you see a lot of his home life and stuff, and I kind of just want to see like more what he gets up to because he's on the mundane side of things. He's quite vanilla when it comes to life, but he's willing to take these risks now to see Deidre.
That relationship's a bit weird though, isn't it? Kind of came out of nowhere.
Is it relationship? He's a bit stalkerish, and she's not into it.
She seems to like. She pretends she's going to like report him for various things, but she kind of seems like he saved her life, I suppose, in the last episode. She was about to get run over by the mob.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe she just sees him as an asset that she can use because she's so devoted to him. No, he's so devoted to her that she knows that she can use him to do whatever she needs to do to get on top in the Imperial world.
Do you think they'll have more interactions in season 2?
I'd imagine so, just because like they ended up together at the end of season 1, situation wise. So they must have rejoined for a reason.
I think they'll maybe team up to continue pursuing Andor.
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine that's the goal.
Here's a spoiler, not about Andor, but about my ranking. I've not included Cyril, sorry, in my ranking. I just find him a bit boring at times, if I'm honest. Like, I feel like the scenes he's in are really long, and a lot of the time he's just sitting looking sad, and there's not a lot of excitement going on at times. Like, he has his moments, but I felt like Deidre as well. I felt like she was a bit dull at times as well. There was a few characters in the show I found a wee bit dull, and I felt like their scenes on a rewatch maybe dragged a wee bit, and they were actually the two that kind of came to mind for me.
Yeah, I think they are.
You may disagree, but they're important. But
yeah, I think they are. Like you're saying, I think the way they're written, they are meant to be that way. But I think it's just to show the kind of like Cyril's just an absolute job's worth. But he wants to do the right thing, but he's still the bad guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he's got an interesting story to be told. And then you see his home life with his mother and stuff, and it's like that was a bit weird.
His mum's horrific too, isn't she?
Oh, she is.
That boy's got no self-esteem.
Wasn't too keen on that, but I don't know. I feel like he's got more to come, and I think he could be a real good character in season 2, depending how it goes.
Like, I see his importance. He just wasn't one of my favorites. Like, I feel like the characters I've chosen so far were more ones that I really liked.
Yeah.
My number 7 it was quite interesting seeing some of their first names because they don't really come up a lot of the time for some of the characters. So I had Nemec at number 7. His name's Karis Nemec.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever say it, but I was just known as Nemec.
Yeah. Kind of like what we've already said, I feel like he's important to the story, to the kind of ethos of the rebellion. He has pretty tragic death. He's like crushed by like loads of like credits.
Yeah, and he's not even a greedy person, so it's not even ironic or anything. It's just a horrendous way to die.
I feel like he was like the best, probably the best person out of that crew in terms of a human being. He was quite funny as well, where he had like he made like a diorama basically of the dam and things like that, and he wasn't letting people touch it. And obviously his manifesto is quite a big thing. Like it's mentioned quite a lot during that arc, but obviously it comes back in the final arc where you actually hear it, and it's like the voiceover for the start of the finale, which I thought was quite a good way to do it, because if like you just had a scene where Andor's reading it or Nemec's reading it to him, but I liked the way it was kind of post-death and it was like his kind of legacy.
Yeah, to be honest, I forgot about that bit, those bits. But yeah, he has such a big part to play, but not a big part to play. If you know what I mean, he's not in it much.
He's like a footnote in the rebellion, but he probably inspired Andor the most, or one of the one of the characters that inspired him the most out of the show. So,
yep, totally get that.
So we've had your number 6, which was B2MO.
Yeah.
So my number 6 is actually one of the probably the only legacy character I've got on the list in terms of like the OG Star Wars was Mon Mothma. And I felt Genevieve O'Reilly did a really good job. She obviously played Mon Mothma in Rogue One as well. Really good casting, I would say. She's interesting. I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I feel like her story is interesting, but they are very talky scenes. There's no like action, so like you can get a bit bogged down. Like it is quite interesting that she's trying to like get hold of money to then kind of funnel it into the Rebel Alliance, but I felt like the storyline there was a wee bit slower, and they took a because you've got all the stuff with her kind of ex-boyfriend guy who's trying to support her with the money. Then she's getting involved with the kind of criminal guy who's wanting to like set up the children as like kind of arranged marriage sort of situation. And do you think Mon Mothma will be more linked in with kind of Andor's storyline in season 2, or do you think it will kind of remain separate?
I don't know. I maybe she might just have more interactions with Luthen, possibly. Then that might lead to Andor, but I don't know if they'll actually.
She becomes like one of the proper leaders of the rebellion, so she'll need to break away from the Senate at some point.
Yeah. Maybe that's how they kind of connect up when they actually have like I don't know something. They try and set up the rebellion or something. But I hope they get a scene or some scenes together. But yeah, I enjoyed actually her kind of side of it, like the kind of political intrigue of it all, and like the empire and how it works inside, and what people try to do to kind of subvert.
Because she's got quite an interesting relation. She doesn't really seem to like her husband, your screen name at all, and she's obviously got she's got like a planted spy as her driver as well. But I'm pretty sure she's aware of that.
She knows that.
And her interactions with Luthen, as you said, are interesting as well. I'm not hating on the show, and I've said a few characters are a bit boring, but I think those characters do have the slower storylines and are not like the big action heroes like some of the other characters are.
Yeah.
It is interesting though.
I like I'm always harping on these like the movie ones where they like unless there's like explosions or like gunfights and stuff, I'm not really that engaged. But I feel like when Andor's on, like I'm like hanging on every word because there's something important happening. Somebody's doing something for some important reason. There's wee hidden messages here, there, and everywhere, and I just find it really interesting. It's not something that I really usually associate with Star Wars because usually the writing's kind of like family friendly, cheesy, not really that intricate. Whereas this is quite grown up stuff, and I'm quite mature.
I think you have to pay attention though. I think you would be pretty lost with all the connections if you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, I'm really engaged by it whenever I've been watching it. Like, I really enjoy it, and I'm really looking at season 2, wanting to build on what they've already done. So yeah, all for it, man. All for Mon Mothma's kind of political intrigue story arc.
I know you're. I'd really recommend or even an audio book, the Bloodline book. It's kind of set after Return of the Jedi. It's all kind of it's Leia's story really, but it's all about the kind of politics post Death Star 2 destruction.
Oh, I don't want to read about politics. I'm not reading.
Oh, audiobook.
Maybe. Okay.
Anyway, what was your number 5 then?
My number 5 is the title character, Cassian Andor. I was going to put him. Higher, but when we were going through the old Andor review with Moisture Farm Report, I remember them saying something that it did make a lot of sense back then, and it makes a lot more sense now. That Andor's not really he's the main character as such, but his story's been told. Like, we know how it started now, and we know how it ends, and really he's just the conduit for getting all these other characters and their stories told, kind of thing. We're just getting it through meeting these interesting other characters, and yeah, I like him. I like him in Rogue One, and I really like him in this. He's a bit stubborn at times. He gave up looking for a sister really quickly at the start.
Think that'll come back?
I don't imagine so. I don't really see why they would throw it in there and then not.
Andor doesn't seem like the kind of show that will leave threads hanging.
Yeah, exactly. They've got a clever team behind them, so I'd imagine it will all tie up in the second season. It's probably fucking sisters Deidre or some shit. Kidding. But yeah, I mean, for Andor's my 5th one. Yeah, it's good. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed his performances. Really enjoyed the seasons he's in. Get the emotion he kind of conveys.
He's very likable, Diego Luna, isn't he?
He is. So he's my number 5.
It's quite interesting. Like, I think you could easily have left Cassian out of the top 10 even, and it's not even a slight on him or the show. Like, I feel like there's nothing really negative to say about the character. As you said, I feel like he's not really is he even the main character of this show? Does this show even have a main character?
There's so many stories getting told at one time.
I maybe argue Luthen's the main character of the show.
He very well could be.
Possibly.
It's all up to interpretation. It's all from a certain point of view.
Oh yeah, good book series. I'm just going to say Cassian's my number 4, so I'll just do what you did before, and we'll just kind of chime in here. I think he's a really interesting character because he's so in the grey, isn't he? He's a rebel, but he's also a killer, which a lot of the rebels are. And look, the first time you see him in Rogue One, he's taking out that guy who's got a gammy arm, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
And then the first time you see him in this, he's taking out the 2 guards.
Yeah, Tooth Fairy's provoked that time.
Yeah, but he plays an important part in all the. Because I was thinking, like, how can I justify him being 4th? I think because he plays an important part in all the arcs. If you think about it, like in the prison arc, it's him that kind of rallies everyone else to go. And the what's the planet called with the eye? Aldani. He's like the voice of reason, isn't he? Like, he knows how to like pilot the vehicle. He kind of calls them out in their plans about what's going to go wrong. And I feel like a lot of the successes of the characters and the escapes wouldn't have worked without him.
Yeah. He's got a like common sense and instincts, which helps. Whereas everyone's very kind of like, we need to do this by the book, do it this way, this is all going to work out fine. And he's like, you need to think about what could go wrong, and this is going to go wrong.
His
He's got a lot of
character got a lot of
experience.
hate in Rogue One, saying he was a bit kind of pointless. Like at times, like that was the opinion you sometimes heard, but I really liked him in Rogue One because he was quite following orders, wasn't he? And then he refuses to pull the trigger on Galen Erso, and then from there he changes. Like he's been on the rebel side for quite a while, but he does change a lot in that scene where he gives that speech, and then he becomes a lot more lighthearted and becomes a bit more himself around Jin as well.
He's less
Guarded, maybe.
Yeah, and yeah, he gets kind of his humanity back.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I think he's just like kind of like almost like a robot for rebellion, just got a mission, do it. Whereas now he's willing to take a risk. He's kind of going back to the character we see in this Andor series, which is a nice wee kind of callback.
I hope we see some of like the rebel commanders on Yavin 4 and Rogue One.
Admiral Radis.
Well, him, yeah, but the other guy, the main guy, the Drevin. You know, the guy who is in the meeting with Mon Mothma and Cassian, and he tells Cassian to kill Galen.
Oh, yeah. I know.
I hope we see some of them in Andor season 2 as well.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible
because the Andor season 2 is meant to run right into Rogue One.
Oh, if it runs into Rogue One, then surely they will then, because in Rogue One he's established in the rebellion.
And then Rogue One runs right into A New Hope, so you could watch Andor 1, 2, Rogue One, and New Hope in one sitting. Well, maybe not one sitting, but you know.
Weekend ruined.
That sounds like a good weekend to me. So that was your number 5, Cassian?
Yeah, that was your number 5.
Cassian was my number 4, so my number 5 was Brasso.
Oh, that high up?
I had him quite high up. I think he's quite a presence throughout the show, because like he's like the person Cassian goes to get his like cover story. You see early on that he's a good guy, that he's going to lie for him, that they're really good friends, and that he's looking out for Martha and B2MO. But you also you come back to him quite a lot when Cassian's away, and you see like he's kind of holding the fort, looking out for everybody. And as you said, he kind of goes from just being the nice guy to the warrior in the battle. And he obviously escapes at the end, so he's likely to have a big part in season 2. But I've always got a lot of time for that best pal character, and how he just seems like a decent guy you'd like to go for a pint with, you know?
Yeah. No, I get that. Like I said, I had him at 10, but like I've not seen. If I'd rewatched it, he'd maybe be higher. It's just I'm trying to remember what I've seen, and like he was good. He was a really good character. But hey, number 5 is a good solid choice.
He's got a good sense of humor as well. Remember when they're trying to make up their cover story, and he's like, "You came over to my house. You insulted my choice of beverage," and it's like he just immediately comes up with this cover story for what Cassian was doing that night, which is quite funny.
Is that when he slept over at his house or something like that? Is that
yeah. And so my 4th was Cassian, which I mentioned. So your 4th was?
My number 4 was Mon Mothma.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty much what you said earlier on. Like, I really enjoyed his her political kind of sideshow she was doing.
Machinations.
That's a good word. Machinations. Oh, I've not been using my fancy words in podcasts for a long time. Yeah, so I don't know. I still really enjoyed that performance. I liked her interactions with listening and stuff, and just the kind of she knows there's spies about. they're talking in codes and stuff, and it's like kind of Game of Thronesy where they're like setting up arranged marriages and stuff to get what they need,
Yeah,
to get the resources. So yeah, number one, number 4. Really enjoyed it.
Talking about Game of Thrones, when I was listening back to our kind of Andor review that you were mentioning, I compared Cyril's speech to Theon Greyjoy's speech to the Iron Men when they then beat him up.
Oh, the Ironborn. Yeah.
Quite similar in some ways, like belittled by their parents and mocked by their peers, you know.
Very true.
Reek. So your number 4 was Mon Mothma. We're kind of jumping back and forward. So what was your number 3?
My number 3, you'll probably not like this. I put Deidre.
Okay, I don't dislike it. I didn't find her personally the most exciting characters, but obviously she's important as a lot of them are.
Well, first of all, like Empire did nothing wrong, so she's a good guy.
She's quite sadistic.
But I don't know. I just find it interesting as a character. Like, yeah, she's inside the Imperial machine. She's doing anything she can to climb the ladder. She's just trying. She's stepping on everyone's toes. She doesn't care who she's pushing it the way to get what she wants. She's clearly driven, and she's not afraid to kind of go on the front lines to see to try and get objectives. She's the only one that can see that people are stealing important parts and stuff like that. There's a pattern, and so she's quite switched on. She does look pure, just pissed off all the time, which I find quite funny. But I don't know. I find it really interesting, and I want to see more of it. I want to see where her story goes as well. So I put her as number 3, just because you don't know as much about her, but I don't know. You just get that kind of air of like determination about her, and I really like that.
Do you think she lacks a wee bit of humanity? Do you think Cyril might be the one who maybe brings that out in her a bit in season 2? She's going to be a bit more like she's just all business, isn't she? And all about torturing and killing. Does she have a kind of lighter, more human side, or is she all just kind of plain evil?
She might do, but I don't know if Mummy's boy Cyril was the one to bring out the humanity in her. I think that wet fish might make her less human. hanging about with him.
I guess we'll find out anyway.
Yeah.
My number 3 wasn't someone I expected to be this high up, but when I look back on the show as a whole, is it Ferris, isn't it? No. Ferric. No, what's the place called? The main planet.
Oh, Ferrix.
Ferrix? Ferrix. IX. Yeah, so I went for Marta as number 3 because I feel like...
Who?
Marva.
Marva.
Oh, why have I got a T there?
Were you thinking of Superman and Batman's mums? Marva.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Marva.
So yeah, Marva. Sorry. I just think she finds Cassie and like kind of adopts him. She's just beloved by everyone in the town, from Brasso to Bix. I found out recently, the actress is going out with Jason Momoa, so she's goes out with Khal Drogo.
Yeah, I know. Like literally before the podcast started, my missus was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Podcast on?" I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh, what happens in it again?" And she was trying to like, test me to see if I remembered. And I was like, "Oh, Bix and that." She's like, "Oh, do you know who Bix goes out with?" Or who?
I saw a picture on social media. I think Jason Momoa was at the Andor premiere with her.
Oh, right, okay.
I think that's what it was.
Because she was saying that I think she was married to another guy or something like that.
Right.
I think he was ugly as sin, so I don't know what happened there. But anyway, that's just a personal opinion.
Anyway, so she's loved by Bix, by Brasso. Cassian adores her. Cassian got his surname from her, which was quite interesting. So it wasn't like his original family name. She she's smart, isn't she? She knows something big's about to kick off. She's quite happy to like say it to the stormtroopers and the Imperials, and just she's got no kind of fear. And then she obviously went ahead, and it's quite a strong message to record, like literally probably just before she died, but she has that big presence at the end of the show with the projection and the kind of message about fighting the Empire, and obviously the great performance by Shaw as well. So I think Marva, not Marta, is a really important character because she's what draws Andor back to the planet, and she's also one of the
the Daughters of Ferrix or something.
Daughters of Ferrix, yeah. So it's nice hearing about all that kind of culture on the planet. But yeah, I think she's a real kind of inspiration for the people that she knows, but also she's like a kind of rebel at heart as well.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been better if she said "fuck the Empire" or just left it to fight the Empire?
I did see a picture where that was like the caption, but then when I was watching it this time around, I was kind of expecting her to say that, and then it just said "fight."
Yeah, I think they did. I think they were going to maybe try it, and then they thought against it. I think maybe it would be out of character because she was kind of a stand-up character, than just being a bit kind of crass way saying F.
When I went into doing the ranking, I didn't think I'd have her at number 3, but I felt like she was one of quite a few who gave like really kind of rousing speeches.
Yep. One of the top 10 speeches as well. Again, yes.
So you're number 2 then?
Number 2. He wasn't in it long.
I know who you've got. We've got the same one.
Okay.
I think we've got the same top 2. This quite often happens when we do the rankings. Do you want to see if I'm right? We'll go with it.
Sure, why not?
So number 2, 3, 2, 1.
Kino
Loy.
Yeah. You were a bit delayed.
Number 1, 3, 2, 1.
Luthen
Rail.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we're both kind of thinking the same thing here. The speeches at the end of that one episode. Episode 10, I think it was.
I couldn't remember. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. But we'll start with Kino Loy. So it was for once kind of it wasn't really known that he was going to be in the show.
No,
it wasn't like highly publicized. He's also one of, I think, 3 actors that have played 2 characters. So I think one was Mark Hamill, played like an alien on Canto Bight, plus Luke, obviously. And then there was Warwick Davis was a punter at the Boonta pod race, and then he was Wicket the Ewok as well.
Wasn't Anthony Daniels? Was he not in the club at episode 2?
Yeah, that's right. And Ahmed Best. Oh, he's been 3 characters then. Jar Jar Binks, because he was also in that same scene you're talking about, and he was the guy in Acolyte.
Yeah, how the. Who's in Acolyte?
No, it wasn't Acolyte. It was Was it Mandalorian season 3?
Yes, yeah. Because he gets Boba.
Yeah. Anyway, so Andy Serkis obviously did the voice of Snoke in the sequel trilogy.
Why? He's just I don't know. He just has a presence about him, and when they're in the prison, he's just the kind of boss man, like the foreman of the prisoners, keeping them online, but he's just trying to keep them alive. He's got that wee bit of hope that he's going to get out and stuff. And then when he realizes it's not happening, they're not going to get out, just transforms into a different beast. He just inspires everyone. With his speech on the intercom, and I really want to know what happens to him as well, because
do you think he made it?
I hope so. Like,
or do you think he's still in the prison?
Hopefully somebody threw him something to float on. I mean,
Do you think he maybe just went back into the prison if he couldn't escape?
I don't know.
Do you think they'll reveal that? Or do you think they'll just leave it
I
at
think
that?
I think we'll just
I
leave it
kind
at that.
of hope they just leave it at that because it
Yeah,
was a big
that I
moment.
can't swim thing is just going. That would. I think that's quite memorable. And
But see when he came in though, would he not have seen that they were in the middle of the war?
not necessarily, because they might have just came on a ship and there was no windies and put in a hangar or something.
The Andor came on it on like the top of like a landing pad, let out the fresh air, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, maybe can you see the water around them? I don't know.
Mm.
Hey, stop trying to ruin Andor, you.
I'm turning to you.
Yeah.
I think
Cynical son of a bitch.
he balances that kind of warmness and strictness, though, doesn't he? Because he seems quite caring towards his kind of charges, but he's also quite he seems like their boss, and they treat him kind of like a boss, but he's also quite caring towards them as well, and he seems to be quite well respected by his kind of crew.
Yeah, he seems like a kind of policeman kind of figure, doesn't he?
Yeah. I liked seeing the bit I liked about my rewatch in this bit was I liked seeing kind of Andor just kind of chipping away at him every so often, and eventually kind of getting him round to his way of thinking.
Yeah, it was brutal, that prison, wasn't it?
Because I think that's I don't know if it's my favorite arc because I find the first two episodes of the prison bit a bit slow, but I think it's my favorite finale to an arc in the show.
Yeah, I think
Out of the four, I think the
I know
Aldani
that.
arc was maybe the best.
We need to go back and listen to your ranking.
I can't remember. But even the speech that we obviously probably what played a big part in him getting second spot. Andor has to kind of egg him. That shows Andor's importance again because he's basically like, "Is that all you've got?" Like his first attempt at a speech didn't really go very far, and then Andor kind of eggs him along, and that's what leads to his kind of big inspirational speech.
Yeah, exactly. He does take some convincing, but when he gets there, he gets good.
And that visual of all the prisoners running through the corridors and stuff, the end of that episode, the last kind of 20 minutes are great.
Oh yeah. It's peak Star Wars TV.
Yeah. So on to the last one. Listen, as soon as you planted the seed of doing the character ranking, he was immediately nailed in as first for me. Don't know about you.
Yeah, he was always going to be number one, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Scarlett was like, "Oh, why is she number one? That's so mainstream." I was like, "Why would he not be number one?"
Yeah. I just feel like every scene he's in, like when he gives Andor like the necklace thing that's worth a lot of money. Just when he's talking to that's a character that didn't make our list. What's her name? The one who was in charge and all, Danny.
I can't remember her name. Is that one that's in Game of Thrones as well?
Mon Mothma's cousin.
Aye.
Forgot her name. But remember when there's a point where he just like shouts at her basically, like just to like get her to do what she needs to do.
Yeah, shows her who's boss.
Yeah, his speech is brilliant as well to the turncoat guy.
Yeah,
he's like I'm using I'm using the weapons of my enemies. He's like I'm fighting for a sunrise that I'll never see. There's just lots of kind of poetic stuff in there.
Yeah, burns his soul or something like that. And
he's just great from his first interaction with Andor and that kind of hangar as well.
Yeah, and then he's got like the other side to him as well, where he's the shop owner and he's like playing with the two lives and stuff, and he kind of seamlessly switches between the two. He's a very well written character. He gets all the best lines, man. Let's say the speeches are epic. Yeah, he just has this air about him. He's also got the star power because he's a movie star.
He was in Thor, wasn't he?
He's in Thor. He's in Hunters. I think he's in June as well. June's terrible, by the way. I can't stand June movies.
I've
I'm not
seen
seeing
both.
I'm not seeing the second one. But yeah, he just chews up the scenery wherever he's in. He's a kind of spy master. He's the one. He's like willing to sacrifice people for the greater good and stuff like that. And it's just epic.
He's in Good Will Hunting as well.
He is correct.
Yeah. He's not in Rogue One, which makes you think. Do you think he could be meeting his demise in season 2?
Don't say that, but now you've said that, I do think it now. And
I'm not saying that with obviously I don't know what's going to happen in season 2. It's just because he's not in Rogue One, kind of because you obviously know Mon Mothma and Saw Gerrera. That's an interesting one. We didn't mention him, but he's not really in it a lot. 2 short scenes.
Yeah. That's when he's willing to give up other people and stuff, but he's like, what's he trying to do again? He's trying to say like he trusts him and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he has to give up some other people and things.
They're quite good scenes though. They're both kind of both asking each other like, did you plan the Aldani heist? And like he's like, well, if I knew, I wouldn't say to you, sort of thing. Like they're just kind of leaving each other in the dark.
Nobody knows what each other's doing, but really, Luthen knows everything.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how much I like Forrest Whitaker's version of Saw Gerrera because he's obviously in a lot of the animated shows as well, like Bad Batch and Rebels and Clone Wars. He's not. I don't know what you in like Rogue One. I found him just a wee bit over the top, and he's kind of craziness.
Yeah, like I think I seen Rogue One first, and I was like, this guy, like they're talking about him as if he's like some sort of like mental, like hardcore war. And you see him in the Clone Wars animated series, and you're like, oh, this guy's like kind of cool. Yeah. How did they just go batshit crazy all of a sudden? And then
I think we'll maybe see that.
Crazy.
I think we'll maybe see that because in Rogue One he's like got like the breathing apparatus, but in Andor season 1 he's not. So he's maybe got some kind of big injury coming up.
Luthen stabs him in the lung.
Do you know the two big characters that are coming back in Andor season 2?
What do you mean coming back?
Well, Rogue One characters that are coming back.
I'm going to say K2SO and blah, 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 Krennic.
Yeah. Actually,
thanks for the spoilers. Thanks.
You literally came up with them yourself.
Only because you told me there's 2 coming back from Rogue One, and they're the only 2 that are like decent.
It could have been Jyn Erso and Galen Erso.
But then Cassian moved in on them.
And Galen Erso will be in season 2. Maybe not. Maybe.
Nah.
Tarkin.
CGI budget for the TV show, maybe.
Vader.
Spunked it all into Tarkin.
Hayden Christensen.
You never know. I don't know.
Princess Leia. There's a lot of rumors that Carrie Fisher's daughter is going to play a younger version of her. Because remember she was in the sequels.
Yeah, she was like a rebel like commander or something.
With Charlie from Lost. Yeah, well, sorry, we're tangenting on, but yeah, I think we're both agreed Luthen's the puppet master, isn't he? Axis.
Yep, 100%. He's the main man.
He is indeed. Was there anyone? Who did you leave out that you maybe would have wished to put in your top 10? Was there anyone who was quite close, or was everyone in that you wanted in?
I'd probably put Mosk in just because, like I saying, he was Cyril's kind of right hand man and stuff.
Yeah,
I'd like him. Probably some of the guys from the Aldani heist as well. I can't remember their names, but they were pretty decent as well. Was it Skeen you said?
Skeen, yeah, he was the guy. The guy that's in is it the bear?
Yeah. I think is he going to be in the Fantastic Four movie as well? The new one?
Possibly. That rings a bell.
Yeah, so I'll probably say that. This bloody dog.
Yeah, I had him on my wee list. I had Melshi as well. Like he's obviously a Rogue One alumni. He doesn't do that much in the show, but he's got like a wee scene with Andor where they talk about how like are they the only two that made it and kind of planning for the future. I like the Ulaf, the wee old guy in the crew when it died.
Yeah,
I quite liked
wee
him
Geordie.
as well. And the other two characters there's another two like Imperials I thought were quite interesting. See, he was called Major Partagas. He was like the guy who led the Imperial meetings. He was in Game of
Yeah, yeah,
Thrones.
yeah.
I
Oh,
thought he was.
he's the maester, isn't
I think so. Yeah, he was. I thought he was quite good. I thought he was very Imperial in the way. I really liked the scenes with the Imperials.
he? Yeah, it's good to see behind the curtain, isn't it? And
Yeah, because that guy is it Yularen who was in Clone Wars as like a Republic kind of leader. He's in
he
Andor
took
as
a
well.
turn. He took a turn for the worst.
He's in there because him and Anakin, when Anakin was good, were really good pals. And the last one was another Imperial, was Blevin. He was the guy that was played by the drug dealer from Inbetweeners.
Yeah, he's in the new season of Black Mirror as well. Now you can
Is he?
a side character role.
It's just bizarre seeing him in Inbetweeners and then Andor. Like such a contrast in shows.
Yeah, because I've seen him in Taskmaster before. I've seen him in this, and I was like, he's quite funny in Taskmaster, and then I seen this, I was like, he's so serious. I'm like,
I had one of my moments where I was like, I know his face, I know his face, I know his face. I need to work this out.
yeah, aye, it's quite star-studded, but like it's white. It's just wee people, from here, there, and everywhere. But it's
Tell you
decent,
what,
and I really enjoyed it.
what, Andor?
Aye, Andor and just all the wee characters from all the different. It's Gallus, man. Gallus.
That cast must have cost a fair bit, by the way. Diego Luna, Stasgard, Fiona Shaw. Quite a big list.
I can
Andy
tell your
Serkis.
handwriting's getting worse here.
No, I'm just reading the names of the characters and remembering who the actors were.
Did you say Stasgard?
Is that his name?
Skarsgård.
That's what I said.
Your case
Anyway.
of couple like teas.
We've went on for long enough, but I enjoyed taking a wee. It was a bit of a Rogue One trip down memory lane as well as Andor season 1.
I thought you were just going to say it was a bit of a Rogue One, and then leave it at that.
No. I think maybe we could try and do a wee Andor season 2 review. The episodes are coming out. There's 12 episodes, but they're coming out in 3 episode arcs, so it'll be done in like a month.
Yeah.
So we could maybe do a wee Andor season 2 discussion at some point.
Yeah. I'll need to come to your house and watch it right enough because I'm not sharing it for Disney Plus.
You know, got it?
No, I was used to piggyback off you until Disney decided
yeah.
to
Well,
cut
you're
the
welcome.
strings.
You're welcome. We can watch it on my phone.
Yes.
Right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed our Andor character ranking, and you can catch us on all the different social media platforms. You can watch and listen on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and the likes. If you've enjoyed this discussion and you want to see more of our rankings and Star Wars content, then you can subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. And make sure you check out the rest of the Podpack Collective. So, Paul, any final words?
It's been a bit of a Rogue One.
That's awful. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm Colin. I've usually not seen it. James, who's not here today, has usually written an essay on it. And Paul?
I've usually seen it in the wrong order because I'm a bit of a diddy.